Hey there, YouTube friends. maskedbandit here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I always do appreciate it, and this is usually when I say hello to John T, at which point he then says hello. But he's not here today, because this is a half episode. If he can do it, so can I. So yeah, we've got ourselves a little half episode today, and the main reason is because we recorded on Friday last week instead of our usual Sunday or Saturday, which meant one less day, well, like 2 less days, really, of getting able to play, which is a lot. It's a surprisingly large amount of time, a couple hours, and so, and it's totally cool. Like, I mean, I totally get it. John T's really busy currently with his Gigantor move, so flexibility is awesome. I was on spring break. I was able to give him a hand. We were able to record it on Friday, and I think it's a pretty good episode. But I wasn't content leaving the elephants as they were. So John T was kind enough to let me keep the file over the weekend because he was going to be working on some other things anyway. So long story short, I got to play a few more hours. Enough to put together this video here for you. And so this is all going to be elephant enclosure time lapse. So we're going to start here by working on the front of the actual elephant house. It's going to be kind of inspired by John T first said Petra, the old like temple built into the side of the mountain, and I think it's in Jordan. They're really cool, and I was like, oh yeah, that'll be cool. And then I wanted it to look more dilapidated, kind of, and more earthen terrain. So that's kind of where we're going to head with this. It's going to be kind of this fallen apart temple type thing on a craggy rock. And I think it looks really cool once it's all said and done in the final iteration. And here's some more of these statue things that I think we're going to try and incorporate more throughout the park. I think that's going to be a neat little way to tie all these various areas together. But anyway, I did, and I have been reading all your comments about episode 8, all your feedback, all your suggestions. I've been taking them all in and mulling on them. And I want you to know I do indeed, I read every single one. I've reached a point, though, with this series that I cannot reply to everyone, unfortunately. You guys are just too, you're too awesome. There's just too much comments. There's too many for me to realistically, like it would take me so long to reply to all the comments. So I think I might just make sure I like as many as I can, and if someone is asking something really specific or something, maybe I can help you out. But yeah, I can't promise that I will reply to everyone like I have been before. There's just too much great feedback, but I do appreciate it, and I have read it all. Now, all that being said, none of it made it into this video because all of this I worked, like I said, over the weekend before I even gave the park, or before episode 8 even dropped on my channel. So those of you that were making specific suggestions about the elephant enclosure or the bug house or anything like that, you will not see it in this video. But I do think, based on your feedback, that emergency exits for the bug house are a definite must, as are proper fences for the people to keep them away from the hot wire that is around the enclosure. Good call, good catch, those of you that noticed there was absolutely nothing to prevent, other than some bushes, to prevent people in that back seating area, the eating area, to go up and just touch the hot wire. So I think that'll be a nice little addition to the realism. So I think that'll be good. So, but yeah, I also want you to know that as we progress here in the time-lapse portions, it's all time-lapse, but as we progress here through the video, this is still not the final. This is still not the final version. Not all the details are in. I'm still missing lots and lots of details. I kind of wanted to go in passes, I struggled so long just to get the shape. And you'll notice, like, we did this wishbone or bow tie shape where the animal house is actually separating 2 distinct pens, and that's how we'll keep our males and females separated. That seems like the most logical setup for it, and it works really, really well. I like it a lot. You'll notice that this interior is a little bare. Again, it's so hard to find reliable images on the nuts and bolts of this. of an enclosure like this. How is it laid out? How do they move the animals through and around? What does that look like? Like, I'm not 110% sure, so I just kind of did a bare bones thing to kind of get the idea. If you know specifically, or if you are searching, if you feel like doing a search, I've searched. Maybe I'm just not searching for the right thing. If you can find some awesome pictures of the interior of elephant houses, like how they would work pens for solitary, for confinement, for checkups, or how they would work larger pens for a few animals, like for bath time and stuff like that. I'm all for that. So if you've got any suggestions on where I can look or what specific term I should Google, let me know. So another thing about this elephant enclosure, this elephant house here, is that it was intended to be for 4 female elephants. That's what all my research was about, because that's kind of what it did. That was like the basic unit, I guess, when looking at all the research I was looking at. We have 6 elephants, 4 females. Actually, we have 7. 4 females, 2 males, and a baby. And because of that, and because I built this, the area of the house before I placed all the elephants, it's probably too small. And I'm probably going to leave it like that. Like, one of the things Jonty says is one of the reasons he wanted to work with me is because we both kind of share that same good enough attitude. I could tear it all down and build from scratch, but I don't want to. I think it sells the vibe good enough, and hopefully you're understanding of that, because I mean, I could spend 3 more episodes on just this elephant enclosure, but we want to have a finished product at the end of the day. That's kind of what we're going for. That's how I like to play. I like to get the general gist of something, and because scope, I like, oh man, I did it again, I bumped my mic. But the scope of things, like from the top, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I want details and I want it to be realistic, but I don't want to spend 4 episodes on an elephant house. I don't. And so I'm not going to. I'm going to do certain things. Like, I'm going to make sure there's no terrain poking through here, because that's sloppy. That's sloppy. I don't want to be sloppy. I want you to know that any sort of lack of refinement is like a conscious choice. Just so we can progress and get a whole zoo safari park done. So anyway, one thing I do want to say about the comments is a lot of people have been asking, no rides, no coasters. We've said on lots of videos, just about every one of these episodes, we've said there will be rides and there will be coasters, just not yet. So patience, please. And also, some people have suggested doing a safari ride. Like, yes, that is the entire purpose of this project. We're just kind of filling the park out to get to it. So most of the animals that are on the workshop, especially like most of the African animals that are on the workshop, are going to go into the safari area, like your rhinos and giraffes and any sort of gazelle or anything like that we get. That's all going to be in the safari area. We thought elephants would kind of be at their own enclosure. So we'll see. Oh yeah, there's zebras on the workshop, but yeah, there's definitely a safari coming. Like, I just want everyone to know that's, and like we said that since episode 1, that's the main idea of the series. But it's just been so much fun to do this kind of stuff that's what we've been spending our time doing, and I'm sure the safari is going to be tons of fun as well when we get there. So, but anyway, after this animal house here, one of the things we do is we're going to work a little bit on a planter. And one of the things I wanted to make sure of with this planter is that the elephants couldn't like get to the tree to knock it down. And so what I've been doing, and again, this might be totally wrong, and if it is, then I'll change it, because this is one of those like kind of has to be right things. I'm using the rocks like to create really steep areas where I would assume an elephant would not climb. Like, I don't think elephants climb. Like, I know the dangers of moats as barriers, and I don't want that. Like, I don't have moats. I always have some raised areas, like these rocks here. Rocks also line the little creek we made to deter elephants from going over there. And That's why this planter has the rocks around it and why it's raised, to keep the elephants from pushing it over. Because I want to give them some natural shade. They would need shade. So that's how I'm going to do it, using raised planters like this. And we're going to plop a little ball down for them to play with and put the baby in. We've got our swimming hole over here in the corner. Again, all works in progress. You can see this back area here is really raw and unfinished, but hopefully here you can now kind of see the direction we're going in, and hopefully this half episode has been worth it. So you can really see what I'm trying to do here. I think I've taken care to make sure that it feels like a real exhibit you'd see. If you've still got ideas on how to make it even better, within reason, I'm always more than willing to listen. But that's pretty much going to do it for this episode. So don't forget to subscribe and leave your feedback down below. Have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever, and I will see all of you for the next episode of Uzuri Gardens. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.